did the game show scene together. Jason was absolutely hilarious on set. And I remember even this, at the end of shooting those whole scenes, I remember Kevin came up to me and Jason Lee and said, hey man, I have this script I want you to look at. And he handed us these scripts, and it was Dog. And at first, he was like, you be Bartleby and he's gonna be Loki kind of thing. I'm like, this is great! And then it's two fucking weirdo actors.
Yeah, no names, couple of no names.
Yeah, who the fuck are those guys? I don't see them here today.
So speaking of like coming up, like Brian, like you were saying, like these are real actors. This is what's going on. Like imposter syndrome. Like I don't fucking belong here. What am I doing? You know. How do you feel about like coming up in the world and like obviously they treated you well, and obviously the other people that were already, you know, established actors. Like how do you treat each other? How do you continue that? How do you all vibe? Like.
Well, you realize everybody's just regular fucking human beings.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, I still feel like an imposter.
Right.
Like, that never goes away.
Yeah, that never goes away.
It's still just like they're gonna fire me any day. They're gonna realize I have no talent.
But I mean, it's that type of thing, like we're all hopefully pulling in the rope in the same direction where we can help each other. And I say this all the time in different things, it does you no good to be a fucking self-centered douche. And even though there's a lot of self-centered douches in our industry, I try to live by it. I treat others like you want to be treated kind of thing. It's a basic fucking golden rule. I think that's why they call it the golden rule. And it's helped me throughout my life, because I have people like, you're so cool. And I jokingly go, well, see, the beatings worked. My parents, and I deserve those beatings, I know I did. But it's the type of thing like, look, just fucking treat each other. Like, we all want to get back to our hotel rooms. We want to get this scene done. Come prepared. It's three things. Arrive early, know your lines, and just treat everybody calmly. There have been PAs that have been on shoots that are now producers on films that I've worked on. Where I'm like, holy shit, Mark, yeah, we met before. I was the PA and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, holy shit. So that's what you mean. You don't ever know who you're working with today is going to be someone you're going to need or want to be working with later on in life. And that's all.
Well said, my friend, well said. How about going here to the right this time? Any other question here?
Yeah, hi. So I don't know if you guys remember or not, but do you happen to know when TS is eating the cookie, is there frosting or ice cream between the sandwich with the cookie? It's been a huge debate among my friends.
There wouldn't be ice cream because ice cream would melt and these scenes take a long time. So that's highly likely there would be ice cream.
Thank you.
I didn't say frosting either because I don't remember. If I don't remember a hot tub scene.
Over here, all the way to your right.
Hey, this is Ben from Chicago. I want to know, how many people do you think got stink palmed thanks to Mallrats?
Thousands. Far too many, my friend. Far too many. Also, back to the right over here.
Hi, so Jeremy and Jason, I'm just curious, did the topless psychic scene take a ton of takes because it was so ridiculous?
Say that again.
The topless the topless psychic scene in the dirt mall. Did that take a ton of takes to actually go through, or did you guys do it quickly because it was such a ridiculous scenario?
I think quickly, yeah.
I think we wanted it to be over as quickly as possible. And she was just fine with it taking as long. And all the crew members were fine with her taking it as long as possible. Yeah, it was really good.
All right, back into the center over here.
What's up, guys? I just want to give a quick shout out to Walt Flanagan and Ryan Johnson. Thank you. And then second, to Jeremy London, which opening did you like better, the alternate with the musket gun, or the original one that went to the scene? Or
The original one that most people see. I mean, there's a reason that things wind up on the editing room floor, and some very wise person figured out that the movie, the flow of the movie, the timing, everything. I think just that it was funnier. But what a lot of people don't understand is that we shot that scene, I think, on top of a building, like 30 degree below weather in winter. you know, and we were freezing. It was really hard to be funny. Yeah, we wanted to be out of there. I do remember seeing a makeup girl with like tears in her face. It was frozen. It was cold. It was cold. Minnesota.
Minnesota,
It was cold. Thank you.
Always cold. Over here in the center.
Hey, I was curious, working with Kevin on his second ever film and something that changed so drastically from his first, did you experience any struggles working with such a young director, dealing with a whole new element to his career?
I think what's great about Kevin is that, you know, like I had said earlier, even though he was feeling pressure because it was sort of like, you know, going from a small budget kind of hometown indie film that he had total control over to a studio film where he had a lot of people over him, how well he managed it. I mean, he and I, we were 24 years old. Kevin, you know, he knows exactly what he wants. He's a great writer. He knows exactly what it's going to be. And he handled that pressure really, really well. You know what I mean? So like, you could kind of feel that it was like, hey kid, don't fuck up. You've got $7 million now, and you're shooting this kind of, you know, studio picture. And so it's sort of the big time now, don't fuck up. I mean, you could sort of feel that pressure there, but how well he managed it was really, really impressive. You know, I was able to note that. And he was very comforting in that way because, like I had said, I was really, really nervous. And he felt a lot of pressure as well, but he carried it a lot better than I did. And he was, even though he had that pressure over him and he had sort of hit the big time now, he handled it really, really well. And I learned a lot from Kevin during that process, that even as young as 24 and now with a big studio budget, you know, he handled it really well, I thought. And so I just kind of followed his lead and trusted him.
And I think the difference of handling stress about making his first independent film in this is with Mallrats, from what I gather from the evidence I've seen, is he had access to a hot tub to relax in after stressful days.
He would jump in his jacket every time. It was weird. The wardrobe people were pissed.
Over here in the middle.
This is for Jason and Brian. Do you have a favorite memory from getting to work on Dogma and coming back and working with Kevin another time?
I worked on Dogma too.
I was supposed to.
Wow, this has turned into a kind of support system here. All of a sudden I'm waiting for some doctor to come in like, so tell us that pain you felt. Where in the doll did he touch you? No, the greatest joy I had about working on Dogma was first creating a newsman that's very similar to Ron Burgundy, before Ron Burgundy, just saying there, Will Ferrell. Was getting to work with the late great George Carlin. That was give it up. Getting to know him, he was one of my childhood gods of comedy, and I bought his book at the time, which was Brain Droppings. I brought it to the set out in Pittsburgh, and we were both in the makeup trailer getting our makeup done and stuff, and I remember him saying, he was always super friendly. He was like, hey kid, where are you from? And I was like, originally from the Bronx in New York City. He's like, he lived in Upper Manhattan, but also was in the Bronx as well, and he went to high school, and my brothers went to high school, and so we got to talking about that. And I asked him if he could sign his book. He was like, oh my God, this is great. And continuity in makeup and hair, they always take a Polaroid back in the day, this before digital cameras, to make sure that what you're wearing is exactly what you're gonna wear again. And so he's like, you wanna take a picture? And so we took a picture, and he signed it from one Bronx kid to another, George Carlin. It is now the bookmark of that book. So that's the greatest thing. I loved working with these cats as well, of course, but getting to work with George was one of my highlights of being on Dogma.
Wow.
Not a competition.
I can't. Sorry. Can't beat that.
Over here to your right. right, or your left, I'm sorry.
Hi, it's actually a perfect transition to my question, which is for Jason, because Brody's one of my all-time favorite movie characters ever. And a lot of it has to do with your timing, with delivery and lines. So I didn't know if maybe you had any like coaching with comedy or specific inspirations that you like watched kind of growing up that helped you fine-tune everything.
Whatever I was sort of motivated by in terms of, you know, movie or character inspiration, none of that was present, you know, again, because I had to kind of just listen to Kevin. And I mean, I was so green. It's like I had never done any work before, you know, and now here I was with a script full of dialogue and, feeling very ambitious and really excited, you know, but also, again, extremely nervous. And so, you know, I just kind of, you know, I had seen Clerks at the theater when it came out, and everybody in LA was talking about Clerks. It was such an important movie, and to be able to work with the guy that but I remember seeing Clerks, and everybody was talking about this new guy, Kevin Smith, and it was such an important movie. And so to be working with the guy who made Clerks was like everybody wanted to be in Mallrats. Everybody in LA auditioned for it. And so I really genuinely felt extremely fortunate and lucky. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about dialogue delivery. I didn't know anything about interior, exterior, this, that, stage direction, nothing. And so Kevin, knowing exactly what his world is and knowing his writing so well and his own sensibilities, I just followed his lead. And we've worked out how to deliver the dialogue together. And he would say, go up here, go down there, almost like conducting, you know. And so I just did whatever he told me to do, you know, because again, I didn't want to get fired. But no, I learned a ton from that. You know, I learned so much from Mallrats and from Kevin. And so anything that I did after that, I thought a lot about dialogue very specifically from that point on, and everything else I did.
Thank you.
He's being humble though. Like, I knew Jason before Mallrats, and he was fucking funny. Like,
I didn't know how to read dialogue.
he was really funny and amazing, and there was a casting director who spotted like that in Jason and brought him in for Mr.
John Phillips, yeah.
Thank you. Also, if you just do what Kevin tells you to do, it always works out.
You don't really have a choice.
Yeah. Over to your left.
Hello there. This is for Renee and Joey. Being a Kevin Smith film, it's very girl power. You know, there's never a weak moment with a lot of the women in the movies, which is awesome. Being respectfully Trish the Dish and respectfully your much anticipated dressing room scene that we all know. Did you feel, yeah, right? Did you feel like a badass female on set, and do you understand like how iconic you guys are to us because of, I mean, one of like 2 of 4 of the women that are just like, hell yeah. Do you guys feel empowered and badass from this movie? Because you are?
I mean, that's a wonderful thing to say. I do now. It's extraordinary to have been a part of it, and they never would allow my role to exist now for good reasons. We've come a long way on the whole notion of consent and all that. But yeah, and it's carried on, and the fact that the movie has meant so much to so many people has definitely empowered me over the last 30 years. And I just published a novel, and I feel pretty awesome about that.
Award-winning novel.
Oh, I did. I just won a medal, silver medal.
I mean, I think Kevin respects women in general, and that shows in I think most of his work. There's always strong female characters. I just did a panel with your brother a couple of weeks ago. It was a Daisy Infused panel. There was this producer, Jim Jacks, who was producer of Daisy Infused, and then the producer of Mallrats. And I think it was Chrissy Harness was telling a story about how Jim Jacks was trying to get Rick Linklater to make her show her tits. And Rick fought him and was like, no, it's not happening. And I was like, that's crazy, because when we were doing Mallrats, Kevin like tried to fight Jim Jazz, which made me feel, I mean, it was a big fight, where Kevin was like, I don't want Joey to have to show her tits. And Jim, and now like knowing that like he had just on Dazed and Confused got like vetoed with there being tits in the movie, Jim like just went like mad and like furious and was like screaming and like spitting, and Kevin was like, okay. But just the fact that Kevin tried to stand up and it was like, you know, this isn't something I want in the movie, it's something the studio is making me put in the movie, made me feel so much more comfortable doing the scene. And then he also shot it as quickly and as, you know, painlessly as possible, yeah.
Very discreet.
Thank you very much. All the way to your left.
So, each one of you, yes or no, is the cookie stand part of the food court?
No, I think the science would say that, yeah, actually it is. I think I have to agree with Jay on this one. It's autonomous. What is it?
Yeah.
You guys know what is it? There you go. Autonomous. Yes, I agree with Jay.
All right, that settles it, everybody. Don't need to ask that one anymore. Also, here back and to the left.
Hi, so I work at a mall, and I like really want to know, what would your guys' modern impression of a mall rat be? Like, how do you think that they would act?
Will you stand up, that 17-year-old who spoke earlier?
Dress like that.
I personally thought the question was about like, since malls are so absolutely desolately empty, it's literally just rats that are in a mall. There's nobody there.
Over here in the back.
What are the chances of Kevin Smith stepping in and bringing us the My Name is Earl movie that we all deserve?
I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that.
All right, over here back to the left.
Down the line, one at a time, what is the most annoying line that people have said to you this weekend? Jeremy.
This weekend?
Yeah.
Everybody's been really nice, man. But I have had somebody come up to me one of these things and ask me, are you or are you your brother? I think that's just going to be universal. I get across. That doesn't get dumber than that.
Little rude.
I mean, Kevin's dialogue is so good. It's not like, oh, there's some like horrible line I had in one of his films.
I get it. I get super excited. I never tire of riding That Kid Is Back on the Escalator. It's really, not to get too sentimental, but it's really incredible. I mean, it's 30 years and people are still getting off on it. I dig that so much. Like, I really genuinely believe that everybody on this panel is extraordinarily grateful for those opportunities. You know what I mean? Really, like, I loved film and I really genuinely wanted to explore trying to become an actor, and Don Phillips and Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier gave me that opportunity. I'll sign whatever the fuck people want me to sign.
Just so to add on that, I'll definitely never end signing, well, did he come or what?
People that have gone to Brian's table before mine, that's what's on every ball.
Jesus Christ, man!
That'll be on your tombstone. Over here,
Things you do not mention in public.
We've already seen his tombstone, Clerks 3.
Oh, sorry. Over here to the left.
This was really for Jason. Since this was like your first major role in Mallrats, what was it like to get manhandled by Ben Affleck?
Fucking annoying.
survived Batman roughing him up. Give the guy some fucking credit.
The movie kind of feels like a snapshot in time, like lightning in a bottle, because it's, you know, it's showing that Gen X culture, that grunge culture, much like Richard Linklater's Slacker, right? I'm wondering if it's got, you know, the great soundtrack and showing what early 20-somethings are doing at the time. Is there a movie that's come out in the last 30 years that you feel is like a spiritual successor to the movie?
Oh.
No.
We'll have to get back to you on that one.
It went to TV shows, like those then became the kind of, like CW started, the CW network.
Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks was pretty
Yeah.
Licorice Pizza came out recently. That was about the 70s. I mean, that seemed pretty much about what was going on and low key and all that.
But that's the other thing too, is like the really good stuff, the gritty stuff that's like that now, to try to get that made is really tough for like a major release, right? So you gotta support your local film festival, straight up. And you also gotta, give it a round of applause. And you also gotta support your local independently owned movie theaters that do these kind of like throwback weekends. So give it up for that. So, and you know, the streamers are collecting a lot of these good films as well, but you know, the algorithm throws, if you like one Marvel film, next thing like every fucking Marvel film's gonna come your way. And every other superhero movie for that matter. So it's a matter of you really doing your research and doing that dig and really loving it. Because the filmmakers are out there, the technology, for fuck's sake, if we had the technology just on my phone when we were making Clerks, oh my God. You know what I mean? So the technology's out there for every single one of you to make your own film, to do it, and do it. We highly encourage you to do it. And every single one of us on this panel is available to work.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Over here to your right.
Yeah, right. Out of the left, whatever. So I have a healthy fear and respect for escalators, thanks to you guys. And I work in airports all across the country and the world, and I've seen some bad things happen on escalators. And so my question is, are you guys fearful and respectful of escalators?
Jason, you gotta tell her what happened.
Oh, I was doing a con in Minnesota, and somebody came to my table and said, I used to work at the Eden Prairie Mall, where you guys filmed Mallrats, and you know, we all had sort of like a walkie-talkie headset as we were walking around the mall doing our work, and it was revealed over the communication system to all the staff that a kid had gotten stuck in one of the escalators. And, I thought that was just the irony of that.
My 11-year-old is frightened of escalators, and I'm convinced that he saw that part of my movie. Yeah, he hates them. He absolutely hates them.
When I was younger, I was a victim of an escalator because I was playing with the handrail. And my mother's like, "Stay away from the fucking escalator." She's Irish, by the way. I'm not having a stroke. Anyway, and so my arm got pulled into, because it was a handrail next to a wall. And so my arm got pulled like this, and I'm moving like that, and the rubber is burning underneath my arm. And so some guy hit that button. And you know, my mother, being the caring mother, came over. It's like, and she grabbed me. It's like, oh, all right. And what did I tell you about that? That's the early reference. The beatings were deserved.
Watch your kids, everybody. Over here to your right.
First off, I totally forgot. So, Joey, I loved you in Mylodome. I totally forgot. My actual question is for Ethan. I wanted to know if you had any memories, one from working with Denzel Washington in Remember the Titans, but honestly, from working with Ivan Reitman in Evolution.
Remember the Titans, it was really kind of separated the kids and the adults, like the sitting areas were the coaches, and they were very much apart from the football players, which is fine. So there wasn't much interaction between us then, but then I went and did 2 more movies, and he was a very, very nice guy. Ivan Reitman yelled in the most wonderful way, because he never yelled at me. And so I came away thinking like, yeah, that's what I want. I wanted to see Ivan Reitman yell at people.
Thank you very much. We'll grab one more. Finish it off, my friend.
All right, Joe from Chicago. My question is, I love the whole panel. You guys are all amazing. But my question is for Jason. It's been a while. What's it gonna take to get you back on a skateboard?
I still skate, baby. I'll kickflip over your ass,
All right, well, make it a good one. One last one.
This one's for Jason. Since we never saw the completion in the movie, did Hartford ever win the cup?